Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am Mayor Linda Belzotti, and I am the proud and privileged mayor of this great city of Champions, and I'm proud to welcome you here this morning so that you can see and learn how we have, as a community, have been able to work collaboratively to address foreclosed homes and vacant properties that impact the families and business owners in our great city. We are a city of nearly 100,000 residents, and our diversity and size is an asset, but it also means that problems and difficulties are sometimes felt more acutely. We have continually been at the top or near the top of the list for the number of foreclosures in the state, a list that no community really wants to be the leader on. Utilizing CDBG, home funds, NSP funding, and the Attorney General's receivership program, we have been able to help families get back into foreclosed and vacant properties, just like this home you see on Lauriston Street that is underway right now. This would not be possible without the collaboration of agencies like the Attorney General's office and like the U.S. Department of Community and Housing Development, and programs like Home Corps, which the funding is available to help our local efforts. With the assistance from agencies such as the Department of Housing and Community Development, Southeastern Massachusetts Affordable Housing Corporation, the Brockton Housing Partnership, Brockton Housing Authority, Neighborhood Housing Services. We're going to get everybody in. The Massachusetts Housing Partnership, Mass Housing, and Mass Housing Investment Corp. We are making strides in Brockton. As you can see, it's not easy. We have a lot of partners, and we're proud of it. Last year, we began a process of setting up an abandoned property ordinance in the city. The ordinance requires those with an abandoned or vacant property to register the property with the city and pay an annual fee. This list is shared among our city departments that enforce building, health, and safety codes to make sure our housing and commercial property stock is in compliance with all regulations. We will continue to work to support homeowners, connect them with the resources to educate them, and try to help prevent them from going into foreclosure before it happens. We want to thank everyone for their continued support of our ongoing efforts and the insight to develop new programs that meet the needs of at-risk homeowners in Brockton and other cities in the Commonwealth. I am so pleased to be able to welcome here today Secretary Donovan and Attorney General Martha Coakley. Without the help of both of their agencies, the projects and the work and the real progress that we're making in this city would absolutely not be possible. And I have the great privilege to introduce a woman who has really been, for me, a major support in my 3 years in office. The city has truly progressed thanks to her leadership, to programs that she's created and helped that have truly been of assistance to the city. There are many people who can create programs, but it's the follow-through that really matters, and she has been fabulous to this community. I can't truly express the thanks that I'd like to give her for helping us. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you with great pride the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Martha Coakley.
Thank you. Thanks, Linda. Thank you. Thank you very much, Linda. On a morning like this, it is true that Brockton rocks, right? and Mayor Belzotti rocks, too, in my book, because she has done a fabulous job at a time when one of the toughest jobs in the Commonwealth is being the mayor of a city like Brockton. She has done a superb job. As she is here with us today on this project, she really cares about Brockton and does a terrific job. I want to thank Secretary Donovan for coming here today. You're going to hear from him shortly. But I really want to say what a terrific partner he has been at every stage of trying to get this settlement done, the kind of monies that the states have been able to see as a result of the national settlement would not have happened, I believe, without the efforts, the untiring efforts of Secretary Donovan. And we're really pleased to welcome him here to Brockton today. We have with us today also Register John Buckley, who's been a tremendous partner in trying to sort through the many problems we have with abandoned and foreclosed properties with his work as Register of Deeds, and Representative Mike Buckley, who's also been a big supporter of the efforts in Brockton to make sure that we keep people in their homes, and when we cannot, that we can turn the properties around as we see here today. We just had a chance to go through the home behind us, soon to be home. What's wonderful about this project is that we take these vacant properties and we turn them into homes. We turn them into places where families can live and grow and start to turn around as we do this work, home by home, block by block and city by city. Again, keeping in mind that this is a concrete example of what we can do in each city in Massachusetts, despite the fact that we are still struggling from the economic downturn and the foreclosure crisis that has ravaged so many individuals, families, and our cities and towns. And so when we can work with Mayor Belzotti, with our abandoned housing initiative, and I'm happy that many of our terrific team from the AGO are here today. We have support from our government bureau, from other parts of the office who have worked in our office to make sure that these receiverships happen. But that's only one little piece of what makes it work. As Mayor Belzotti pointed out, this is a true partnership, and every single one of these homes requires that kind of cooperation, collaboration, and as we know, as the receiver told us, when you look at an old home and start to redo it, you find some problems. We know that every time we look at one of these homes, we find some problems in the papers, but we are committed to sticking through and seeing this done for every home that we need to. Our abandoned housing initiative already in our enforcement and other actions in our office has recovered over $660 million for borrowers, and we have kept over 15,000 people in their homes to date. But beyond our enforcement efforts, we also do take pride in making sure that it works, that we implement it. And one example is what you see here today, our ability to get a place like 117 Lauriston, which is next door, and 113 behind us, part of the program, habitable again so that they can be homes. We now have 255 houses in 29 communities on our active list. We've already completed 130. And in Brockton alone, we've worked on more than 40 properties, and we're going to continue to do that here. There's more to be done. So with the help of Secretary Donovan and the National Mortgage Settlement, in April, we were able to launch another new program called HomeCore. It is a comprehensive, first-in-the-nation initiative that provides a couple of things. Direct support to every distressed borrower in the Commonwealth to avoid unnecessary foreclosures. We're really proud of all of our loan modification specialists who work on the phone, in person, one by one with people who have trouble turning this around and who can, if they get the right help, stay in their homes and avoid an unnecessary foreclosure. If they're eligible, then we will work with them to make sure that that loan modification occurs. If they are not eligible and foreclosure is inevitable, then we work with them to make sure they get other legal assistance to avoid homelessness and to make sure that if they have legal claims, they can be assisted. We launched this program in May. We've already received more than 7,800 calls to our hotline. That's more than 50 people a day calling saying, I need help. Many of them are people who've never needed this kind of help before. And we now have 2,700 open cases of people that we are helping to stay in their homes. It shows the scope of the problem, but it also shows that when we work together, as we see here today, we can make a difference, keeping people in their homes, and when that property's been abandoned, turning it back to be a home for someone else. We're really proud to say, and I know Mayor Belzotti appreciates this because she will put every dollar to work. A grant of $250,000 has gone to the Brockton Redevelopment Authority. We announced this week as part of that national mortgage settlement. I believe that this is the single biggest challenge we have in helping turn our economy around. But we can meet it, and we're going to continue to do that. So I'm really proud to be here with Mayor Belzotti and with Secretary Donovan. As I said earlier, I'm firmly convinced that without his relentless and tireless, committed effort to get that settlement done, we would not be standing here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be with you all here in Brockton on a beautiful day. And I want to start by thanking Attorney General Coakley. We had the chance to get to know each other pretty well through this process. 16 months of sometimes difficult negotiations, late night calls, weekends, to try to get this settlement done. And I will tell you, there is nobody who fights harder for the families of Massachusetts, and frankly, families facing this kind of challenge across the country than Attorney General Martha Coakley. She was magnificent in these negotiations. I saw her as one of my go-to partners in terms of trying to get this done. And you have a special Attorney General here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Let's give her a round of applause. I also want to say, Mayor, thank you for the incredible work that you and your team have done. My regional director, Barbara Fields, is here. I know that you talk to her on a regular basis about the way that we can work together. You talked about a long list of partners. I often say it takes a village to rebuild a village. We are glad to be one of those partners and to be working so closely with you. So congratulations on what you've done so far and what lies ahead of us. I look forward to further work together. Now, you've heard Attorney General Coakley talk about the importance of this mortgage servicing settlement. This is the single largest joint state-federal settlement in the history of our country, and it took 24 Republican Attorneys General, 25 Democratic Attorneys General coming together, setting aside party, differences of geography, and deciding to do something big, something that could make a real difference not just for individual homeowners, but for entire neighborhoods and our economy. And it is making a real difference already. We expect more than 10,000 families across Massachusetts to be able to benefit from the help that it will provide. About $300 million in total assistance to families across Massachusetts. It will help to reduce the principal balances of loans for families that are struggling. It will help families refinance to these record low interest rates that we have today, the lowest 30-year mortgage interest rates in the history of our country. And it will put in place a new homeowner bill of rights that will protect homeowners when they're getting a loan and once they have that loan. No more lost calls or dropped calls, no more lost paperwork, no more runaround from the banks. And if they continue to do that, if they continue those practices, we have the teeth together with the Attorneys General to be able to hold those lenders accountable. That's what the settlement means. And it's even more important because with tens of millions of dollars that's come directly to the Attorney General, we've seen her put that money to work in incredibly smart ways, ways that are going to make a difference through housing counseling and legal services. We know that a family that's struggling is twice as likely to be able to get help and to stay in their home if they get access to a housing counselor and to legal services. So she's invested her money from the settlement into that as part of HomeCore, and that's incredibly important. And families should know, anybody who's watching out there should know that there is free help available to you. If somebody's trying to charge you up front to get help to keep your home, it's probably a scam. You ought to reach out to the Attorney General's office. You should reach out to a HUD-certified housing counselor that can provide free assistance. Call the HOPE hotline, 888-995-HOPE. Go to HUD's website at hud.gov. There is free help out there to help connect you to these solutions. And I hope other families will come tomorrow to a housing counseling fair at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, where we are working together with the state and local agencies to provide as much help in person there at Gillette Stadium. So come to that event tomorrow as well to get help. Now, as the Attorney General said, even when we can't keep a family in a home, there can be important things we can do to help that family find rental housing, to stay housed. But there are also important things that we can do for neighborhoods, and that's really what we're here about today. It is so important that we provide this kind of assistance because you all know that as soon as a foreclosure sign goes up next door, even if you're doing everything right, paying your mortgage every month, your own home loses $5,000 to $10,000 in value. On a street like this, which had seen more than half a dozen foreclosures when the mayor came in with her team to start, the impact can be devastating. And so we need to reverse that spiral of decline. And that's what we're doing, working together with the HomeCore program from the Attorney General, resources from the city, and the resources that we bring, the Obama administration brings to the table. We know that when we make those investments, what we see is neighborhoods start to turn around. Our neighborhood stabilization program, which has been part of the effort here on this street, 75% of the neighborhoods where we've targeted our neighborhood stabilization investments, those neighborhoods have started to recover, and their home prices are rising faster than surrounding communities. And that doesn't just mean more jobs. Construction workers have been put back to work here. We met the receiver this morning, a local business that has put folks back to work right here on this street. But we also know that it starts to restore the dreams of families in these communities. What do people do with their home equity? That's how they send their kids to college. It's how they start small businesses. It's how they save for retirement. And so when we start to restore the home values in an entire neighborhood, we start to restore those dreams. And that's what this effort is about. That's what HomeCore is about. That's what the Obama administration is doing in neighborhoods like this all around the country and all around the Commonwealth. And that's what the mayor is focused on. We need to make sure this settlement works. I can guarantee you that the Attorney General and I will be watching closely, holding the bank's feet to the fire to make sure that they deliver. But I can also assure you we'll be working with the mayor to make sure the damage that was done is reversed and that we can restore not only houses, not only neighborhoods, but the dreams of families here in Brockton and across the Commonwealth. Thank you all for joining us today.